na taga Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office o ICPAW. Kanina, bago ang kanyang testimonya, ay nagkaroon muna ng stipulation ang magkabilang panig, ang prosecution at depensa para pag-sangayunan kung ano yung kanilang mga common documents para hindi na to busisiin. At ayon nga kay Attorney Lorna Kapunan, ng private prosecutor, ay nakasave ng oras ang Senate Impeachment Court ng 10 boxes. Kasi po ay mayroong 15 na mga boxes ng mga dokumento galing sa Commission on Audit tungkol dun sa mga umano'y confidential funds ng Vice President ang iniharap nitong prosecution. Sa stipulation ay nabawasan na yung bubusisiin nila ng 10. So 5 na lamang yung pinag-uusapan natin ng mga boxes ng mga confidential funds documents na tatalakayin ng korte. So bago po magkaroon ng lunch break ang Senate Impeachment Court, ay may mga ilan pong testimonya itong si Ginoong Wamil tungkol sa umano'y hindi wastong paggamit na yung misuse or misappropriation ng confidential funds ng dalawang opisina na hawak nitong si Vice President Duterte, yung dating na Department of Education at yung Office of the Vice President. Iniharap nila ng prosecution yung ilang mga dokumento katulad ng voucher or disbursement voucher ng Office of the Vice President na pirmado ng Vice Presidente noong 2022 at ganun din pinapakita noong disbursement voucher na yon na yung confidential funds na nagkakahalaga ng 125 million ay ginastos mula December 21 to 31, 2022 o 11 days lamang na ginastos yung pondo na yon. Ayon din kay Ginoong Wamil ay hindi sumunod sa Joint Memorandum Circular ng COA at ng iba pang mga ahensya ng gobyerno sa auditing yung mga liquidation documents o yung mga papeles na nagsasabi kung paano ginastos ng Office of the Vice President yung kanilang pera. Katulad na lamang ng hindi daw nito ipinakita o in-specify yung mga confidential na mga activities. Kasi ang requirement po sa ilalim ng circular ng Commission on Audit ay kahit confidential funds yan, doon sa kanilang tinatawag na physical and financial plan ay dapat nakalagay kung anong klaseng confidential funds at ano yung ini-expect po ninyo na outcome o produkto ng aktibidad na yon. Ang sabi nitong si Mawil, nung una ng mga findings nila wala yan. Pero nung nagtangka na sila na mag-submite or maghain ng audit audit observation memorandum sa Office of the Vice President, ay biglang nagsumite yung OVP ng panibago nitong accomplishment report. Ang problema dun sa accomplishment report, kahit na nakadetalyado na yung umano'y mga confidential PIA, ay mali pa rin ang sabi nitong si Mawil. Kasi yung 40 million, for example, na ginamit for medical aid at 10 milyong piso para sa incentive, payment of incentives, ay hindi pa rin yan sumusunod kasi hindi yan nalagyan ng kakibat na report ng accomplishment. Hindi pinakita kung successful pa. So PIA, ayan na, tulad ng sinabi natin kanina, bibigyan ng konting pagkakataon na makapagsimula ng kanyang testimonya itong si Roderick Mawil na siya mismo yung nag-audit ng mga pondo ng OVP at ng DepEd na hawak ni Vice President Duterte. Pia?
Alright, so Joseph, naputol tayo dun no, in terms of yung paglilitis o yung pagtetestigo ni Attorney Wamil. Natapos tayo dun sa sinasabi niya na gusto sana nilang i-serve no, yung AOM, pero nung after nitong i-issue, gusto na nilang i-serve. Sinubukan nila pero hindi tinanggap dahil wala raw tatanggap. Tapos ang binanggit niya, yung ibang mga line items na napansin nila ay hindi kasama doon sa allowable items like yung medicine and food aid worth 40 million pesos, pati na yung pagbabayad ng incentives at travel expenses na worth 10 million pesos, di ba Joseph? So pagbalik Joseph from the lunch break, ito rin yung jump off point ng testimonya ni Attorney Wamil.
Dire-diretso pa rin tayo dyan, Pia, kasi ang pinag-uusapan pa lang natin dyan na period ay 20, how much yan? So 125 That's in particular for just one of the 125. So remember that they had how many? 125 times 4 yan, di ba? Kaya 500 million siya eh. So this is just one. 125 million from December 21 to 31. So there are 3 more na 125. So just focusing on this, tama ka dun sa sinabi mo na parang kaya po nag-attempt na pag halimbawa kasi hindi ubra o hindi payag, hindi pa labag dun sa COA rules, ay sasabihan yung opisina na ay ano po itong ginastos nyo, but hindi po sumusunod dun sa ating joint circular. They tried to do it September kasi ang sabi, walang listahan ng mga activities, kahit confidential activities. Ay hindi tinanggap ng Office of the Vice President noong September 2023. Ang ginawa nila, nagsumite. Meron na mga confidential activities. Kaya lang Pia nga, as you pointed out, hindi rin naman swak dun sa Joint Memorandum Circular na mga expenses kasi 40 million medical aid, tapos payment of incentives, may mahabang listahan. Itong si Attorney Mawil na kung saan lang pwedeng gamitin, no? Yung mga anong tawag mo doon, mga confidential funds. Halimbawa, sa mga safe houses o kaya yung sa mga pagbili ng mga activities necessary to the confidential funds. So very strict. Yun yung sinasabi na strict adherence dun sa Joint Memorandum Circular. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng lumabas doon sa paggastos na yun, Pia.
Alright, Joseph, maraming salamat sa iyo. Babalikan ka namin mamaya. Si Joseph Morong po, live pa rin mula sa Senado. At Attorney, well, we've seen the first half ng direct examination kay Attorney Wamil, na isang certified public accountant. At yung isa sa mga unang napag-usapan nila dun sa direct examination ni Attorney Lorna Capunan was the difference between strict compliance tsaka yung, tama ba yung pagkarinig ko, substantial compliance? Yun po ba yung tawag talaga nun?
Tama, oh.
Ano ho ba yung pagkakaiba? Strict compliance versus substantial compliance? Kasi ang iisipin ko, dapat for everything, strict compliance. Hindi pwedeng anything less than strict compliance. Pero saan po ba ginagamit yung dalawa?
Well, yung strict compliance, nandun mismo kasi sa memorandum circular eh. At kaya yan ginawa sigurong strict compliance. Kasi nga, let's put it in context. Yung confidential funds kasi, over time, noon kukonti lang naman yan, but over time, napapansin na lumalaki yan. At halos lahat na ng LGU meron, pati nga government-owned and controlled corporations, na wala naman direktang kinalaman sa security, intelligence gathering, or peace and order, nagkakaroon. So, it was one of those mga reform agenda nung panahon ni Pinoy. 2015 ito eh. Nagkaroon nung joint memorandum circular. Kasi nga, ang perception noon, pag confidential fund, intelligence fund, sa'yo na yan, hindi mo na kinakalang i-account. Confidential nga, intelligence fund nga. But then, ginawa nila itong circular na ito para mas mabantayan. Kasi nga, siguro napapansin na nila, it's a source of corruption or abuse. So, ginawa. And linagay mismo doon na strict compliance dapat. Kasi nga, exception. As a matter of fact, yung Intelligence and Confidential Fund Audit Office, noon Audit Unit, directly under the chairman of COA yan. So, ganun
yung ICFAO.
ICFAO. So, ganun kay halaga yan at binabantayan. At tama lang na strict compliance. Yung substantial kasi, kung hindi naka-specify dun sa batas o sa rule or sa circular, substantial, hindi naman kailangan, minsan nagkakamali ka din, may mga discrepancies, but mas karamihan ay maayos naman, hindi yan ini-exception. Hindi ka sinususpend, walang audit observation memo, walang disallowance. But ito kasi strict compliance. So, tama lang na istriktuhan talaga nila because this has already been flagged up as a source of corruption noon pa. Not only in this administration but previous administrations. So yun ang konteksto nito. So dahil strict compliance, obligasyon talaga ng COA na bantayan ito. So yun ngayon, hindi ho opinion ng witness nandun sa circular mismo yan. So plus mukha sa ngayon, so far yung kanyang testigo, hindi lang mga occasional lapses o kaya medyo malabo o kaya mga maliliit na detalye, mukhang may mga wholesale na puna sila na mga malalaking amount, 40 million for medical. Yung medical expenses, wala yan dun sa listahan. So pag strict compliance, ibig sabihin, strict compliance with the memorandum circular. At kung wala dun sa mga allowed disbursements, mahirap mo i-justify yan. So, that's where they're coming from now.
Doon sa pag-uumpisa ng kanyang testimonya, sinabi ni Attorney Wamil na kasi siya daw ay naging bahagi ng COA, nag-audit siya ng OVP, ng different departments for a period of about 9 or to 11 years, something like that. So parang panahon ni Vice President Binay, former Vice President Binay, former Vice President Robredo, and Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero ang sabi niya, it was only during the time of Vice President Sara Duterte na kinailangan niya mag-audit kasi si Vice President Sara Duterte lang among the three mentioned ang nagkaroon ng confidential funds. Kanina sinabi niyo po na ang confidential funds inilalaan para sa mga intelligence agencies and particular government agencies or units. LGU meron po, di ba?
Oo.
Pero technically po ba, para lang malinaw, ipinagbabawal ba na bigyan ng OVP or pwede naman bigyan ng OVP?
Well, hindi nakalista by itself yung nature of the office of OVP at saka DepEd. Hindi naman to intelligence gathering agency. Hindi naman ito security agency. Hindi naman ito peace and order agency. So, to be entitled to that, you have to justify. You have to show na kinakailangan gawin namin ito as part of our mandate. So, we don't know. Maganda rin explain ng Office of the President bakit niya binigyan yung OVP at saka DepEd. At ipakita din niya, not in this impeachment case, but in any other form, because that's also part of accountability.
Okay.
Na kung binigyan ng isang authority, ng presidente, ng intelligence or confidential funds, yung isang department niya na hindi naman dun sa listahan, wala sa listahan ng o criteria ng Joint Memorandum Circular, kinakailangan din malinaw sa taong bayan bakit. So baka merong request yung OVP, DepEd, at maganda rin makita ano ba yung justification. But that's another matter na maaring talakayin sa mas malawakang accountability process para sa intelligence fund.
Just to be clear, Attorney, yung mga nakalista na only agencies with this nature of work would be allowed confidential funds. Yun po ay nakasaad dun sa Joint Memorandum Circular.
Yes,
Okay,
nandun.
yung JMC 2015 na sinasabi.
Malinaw doon.
Oho. And then sabi niyo po na parang it might be a good idea to ask yung Office of the President bakit nabigyan yung OVP. Sinasabi niyo po ito dahil yung confidential funds ay nanggaling sa Office of the President.
Yes.
Tama po?
So, yun ang ano, but that's another accountability. The fact na nabigyan ka ng Office of the President, hindi naman ibig sabihin, lusot ka na. Kasi ang main issue dito, paano mo ba ginamit? Assuming justified yun, paano mo ginamit? How did you document it? How did you report? At tama ba? And not only that, hindi lang ho yung pag-audit after required dito sa memorandum circular neto, hindi pa lang siguro umaabot yung testigo, that the agency must have an annual physical and financial plan na kung saan nakasad, ano ba ang gagawin nila na paggagamitan ng intelligence agent, ng fund. So, bago pa hihingi yan, meron na dapat plan. So, hindi natin alam kung meron sila. And then, pag nagamit na, they're supposed to liquidate in 7 days, in 30 days after the quarter or after the specific program or objective or project ng intelligence gathering or security activity or peace and order security, they're supposed to submit an accomplishment report that contains details. Hindi pwedeng general lang na gumastos kami ng 125 million, nag-conduct kami ng information campaign. Hindi pwede yung ganun. Kailangang detalyado. Sino bang binigyan mo? Saan mo ginamit yan? Kailan? So, those details. So, ngayon, ang sinasabi ng witness, wala yung detalye Report lang na very general. That's not what the circular says because it talks of verifiable details.
Linawin ko lang, Attorney, para lang talagang malinaw. Sabi niyo po, di ba galing nga sa Office of the President ang Confi Fund. So any agency, kahit yung mga intel agency, sa Office of the President ba manggagaling din ang kanilang confidential funds?
Hindi naman. Yung halimbawa, yung Department of National Defense, meron na yan.
Meron na
Kasi nga,
silang
trabaho
nakalaan.
talaga nila yan. Yung PDEA, meron yan. PNP, under the meron yan. Yung mga LGU naman, hindi yan national government allotment. That's approved by the local council.
Okay.
But then may mga strict requirements din yan. 2/3 vote of the local council, mga ganun. At meron dapat security incident or concern dun sa locality na yan. So, but dito kasi dahil nga hindi naman kasama dun sa intelligence gathering agency itong DepEd o VP, wala naka-allocate sa GAA. Transfer lang ng presidente from his fund. Yung iba, pwede rin kung ma-justify nung DepEd o OVP sa Kongreso, sa GAA, o kaya yung ilalagay doon sa isasabit ng presidente as a national budget, pwede rin mabigyan sa GAA. But in this particular case, yung what we hear and we see from public pronouncements, galing sa Office of the President.
Kanina po, ay isa sa mga pinakita ni Attorney Kapunan was yung liquidation report, isang liquidation report. Tapos ang sabi po niya, pinapakita niya yung pinapa-verify niya kay Attorney Wamil, ito nga ba ay signature ni Vice President Sara Duterte, under the line yung Certificate of Cash Advance duly accomplished. Na ang explanation nga ni Attorney Wamil kasi parang ito'y patunay na nagawa nila yung kanilang dapat gawin gamit yung pera na ibinigay sa kanila. Gaano ba kahalaga na ipakita na, and paano pinapakita na duly accomplished nga ang inyong misyon?
Well, it's the accomplishment report. So,
Okay.
based on the plan, di ba, dapat may prior plan, and then may expenditure. Titignan ngayon kung yung binigyan mo ng intelligence fund or confidential fund, nagawa ba yung planned activity, na-achieve ba yung objective. So they have to detail that. It cannot be general lang. As a matter of fact, yung circular says dapat ang release or request for that based on specific projects, programs, or activities. Hindi bultuhan yan. Kaya nga, minsan nagtataka yung mga nakakaalam, bakit regular every quarter? Dapat yan. Depende kung ano yung activity mo.
Ito yung sinasabi niyo, Attorney, na project-based kasi siya
Oo,
dapat.
nakalagay din sa circular yan. It's not an entitlement na regular. Kasi bawal nga gamitin ito for salary, compensation, consultant's fee, hindi pwede yun.
Paano kung sabihin nila na meron silang, kung halimbawa, meron silang intel source na kailangan pasweldohan ng regular? So, hindi ba pwede, di dapat regular din yung withdrawal na yon?
Nakalagay sa circular, bawal yung sweldo eh. Bawal yung compensation.
Okay.
So, it has to be for a specific intelligence information. So, hindi
okay.
pare-pareho yan.
So, kung parang walang retainer fee, parang gano'n.
Oo, walang regularity. Kaya siguro doon nanggagaling yung sinasabi ni Senator Lacson na magpadala nga kayo ng witness para malaman namin ano ba yung actual na nangyayari. Because the intelligence agencies would show na sa kanila, kasi nga intelligence gather security, it's a need-to basis. At saka paiba-iba yan, hindi regular. So, yun siguro ang pinupuntir yan. At doon pa rin sa circular, very detalyado kasi ito eh. At meron lang mga certain kinds of expenditures na pwede. At bago pa yung mga expenditures na yan, maraming mga requirements before you are able to access and after you are able to access.
Kabilang, Attorney, dun sa mga pinastipulate kanina, acknowledgement receipts. Although the defense declined to stipulate 900, at least 900 acknowledgement receipts. Pero pwede niyo bang ipaliwanag sa amin kung paano ginagamit yung acknowledgement receipt? Kasi di ba, ang nakasanayan natin halimbawa, kapag magli-liquidate or magre-reimburse, kailangan official receipt or kaya sales invoice, di ba? Service invoice. So, sa mga ganitong pagkakataon, tinatanggap ba or katanggap-tanggap nga ba ang acknowledgement receipt?
Pwede naman kasi nga kung talagang legitimate yan na intelligence gathering or security activity.
Wala naman silang resibo.
There's a need na you protect the identity. Kasi kung spy mo yan o asset mo, alangan naman ibubunyag mo.
Alangan mag-issue siya ng resibo sa pangalan niya.
So, hindi official receipt, but at the very least, i-acknowledge na natanggap ko. Maaring bigyan mo siya ng alias. Pero pag yun ino-audit yan, you should be able to say, sino ba yung totoong tao na yan? But that will be taken in confidence. Kaya nga yung report nila, nakasil eh. Every quarter, every time they liquidate, nakasil yung report. At makakakita lang dyan, of course, nakakaalam yung disbursing office, yung COA, at kung halimbawa ngayon may impeachment, may kaso, doon lang nila pwedeng tignan. But hindi naman yan isisiwalat sa lahat.
So halimbawa, di ba ang sabi ng Office of the Vice President noon na parang ginamit yung pera for the rental of safe houses para dun sa kanilang mga sources. Pag hihingi ka ng resibo dun sa safe house, paano yung patakaran nun? Kasi pwede mo bang sabihin kung saan yung safe house? Kung lalagyan mo ba yung address ng safe house? Sino yung totoong may-ari?
Well, dun sa lantad na dokumento, siyempre hindi mo ilalagay.
Oo.
Safe house nga so sikreto yon. But in the liquidation report, there should be enough documentation
To prove.
to prove at para matuntun ng COA kung titignan.
Okay.
So kinakailangan may real tao, hindi rin pwede kasi otherwise Pia, pag yung kahit sino na hindi mo na pwedeng nasaan ba yung bahay, na sino ba yung totoong tao tumanggap niyan na titindig na natanggap ko, edi wala nang audit kasi sabi mo confidential, which is totally wrong.
And will be open to abuse.
Oo. So, auditable pa rin yan at kinakailangan pa rin sabihin mo, perhaps in executive session or ang nakakalam lang yung COA, ito yan. So, hindi pwedeng fictitious na tao yan. Otherwise kasi, pag hindi mo masusuportahan yan ng katotohanan, ng actual na tao, na bahay, at mga periods, ang kasi pag hindi mo yan na-liquidate ng maayos, ang presumption ng batas under the Supreme Court rulings, yung kay Mayor Dato Tangote versus Sandigan Bayan, saka Mayor Martinez of Caloocan, ang presumption niyan is, if you fail to properly liquidate, the presumption is that the money was used for your personal benefit.
Okay. So yun yung sinasabi niyo kanina na may mga prior decisions already.
Oo, 19 yung kay Mayor Dato Tangote of Lanao del Norte, 1994 pa yan. Yung kay Mayor Martinez, 99 of Caloocan, 1999 pa yan. Yun ang doktrina na prevailing ngayon.
Nabanggit kanina ni Attorney Wamil sa kanyang testimonya na meron siyang draft na audit observation memo, yung AOM, na sinubukan na lang iserve pero nung una hindi tinanggap. Yung the drafting of the audit observation memo, yun ba yung first step when COA tries to flag a certain project or a certain disbursement or a certain amount that they think was used improperly?
Yes, that's the result of their audit. Yung pag may nakita sila na kulang ang dokumento o kaya hindi dapat ginastos sa ganito o kaya wala sa oras yung pagdokumento nila o peke yung mga pirma o hindi mapakita kung sino talaga. Ang una naman yung audit observation memo. Observation muna na mukhang hindi tama ito. So the Office of the Vice President or the DepEd Secretary or anybody using any government fund is given actually a chance to explain. Inaliwanag niya na medyo nahirapan sila kasi nung una ayaw tanggapin. But, yung ganyan kasi na kalakalan o practice na ayaw mong tanggapin, eventually it works to your disadvantage. Nung pala dapat, ni-justify na nila. So, hindi na na-justify. So, sumunod sa audit observation memo, suspension, notice of suspension. Yun, pwede mo na naman sumagot doon, explain mo. Pag hindi ka pa rin, yun na yung notice of disallowance. Yun na yung final decision ng COA. So, hindi pa final yan. Final na ang decision ng COA as a constitutional body primarily responsible for auditing the use of government funds and safeguarding government funds. Ang hindi na lang final, kung sakaling dadalhin mo sa Supreme Court, which I already explained, that's another process, judiciary, but grave abuse of discretion na yan. Very slim ang chances mo na i-overturn ng Supreme Court yung
decision.
gawain ng constitutional body that has the primary jurisdiction and the technical know-how to audit government funds.
Napansin ko, Attorney Cayosa, dun sa direct examination ni Attorney Kapunan, wala tayong masyadong narinig na objection. Parang isa lang yung narinig ko from Attorney Poa nung nag-objection, but it was eventually overruled. Is it because parang laying the groundwork pa lang po tayo dito?
Well, hindi na laying the groundwork dito.
Okay.
But I could understand, in fairness to all lawyers, no, and being a lawyer myself, it should be made clear na, both sides, they're doing the professional job. And the defense counsels are very competent, they're very, very mindful, they are very meticulous, at mabilis din sila. But then, you can only object so much. Yung mga abogado ho naman, hindi naman yan magikero eh. na yung puti gagawin mong itim, itim gagawin puti. Depende rin yan talaga kung ano yung available document, evidence, at saka katotohanan. So, they can perhaps by interposing objections or cross-examining, try to chip away from credibility of the witness, completeness and reliability of the evidence, genuineness, ganyan. But to undo it totally, medyo mahirap. Plus, if you are a seasoned litigator, basic rule ho sa aming mga abogado, if the witness is competent, if the witness has corroborative evidence or even documentary evidence, if the witness is telling the truth, huwag ka na mag-cross-examination. Kasi baka, the more you ask questions, baka makapagpasok pa yan ng ibang testimonya, detalye, that usually cannot be brought out through a direct examination, madadagdagan pa. So, baka doon, I don't know what they have in mind, but we cannot also blame. Hindi naman pwedeng object ka na lang ng object kasi ma-overrule ka lang naman eh. Plus, kung nandyan na, dito kasi hindi lang testimonya nung witness eh. Meron silang mga dokumento. At ito, pirmado ng Vice President, records ng bangko, records ng COA, and the witness is not testifying in his personal capacity lang. He's testifying as an official of a government agency that is primarily empowered and authorized and responsible for auditing government funds. So, mabigat ang dating ng kanyang testimony.
And very candid actually siya kanina, no? Nung kinamusta siya ni Attorney Kapunan. At the very start of the direct examination, sabi niya, I cannot help but feel a little anxious. Sabi niya, may anxiety na nararamdaman. But that is to be expected again of, if you're put in this kind of witness stand, tapos alam mo na ang daming nanonood.
That's true. And also, yung nasasaktan, no less than the Vice President. They're also very powerful. They're politically influential. She can potentially become the president, di ba? Kung makatakbo ka at manalo. But due to the credit of the witness, hindi lang siya CPA, lawyer pa siya. So alam niya, hindi ito yung nanggaling sa wala eh. Ginagawa naman niya ito hindi lang sa account ng Office of the Vice President or the DepEd Secretary, sa iba pang mga account o mga agencies using intelligence fund. So, alam niya yung kanyang sinasabi. So, anxious siya because nga, tama ka, under scrutiny ng buong bansa kasi televised ito, plus powerful na sasaktal, impeachment ito. Pero makita mo rin yung kanyang calmness eh. Kung gumagawa ka lang ng kwento, matataranta ka talaga. Sa umpisa pa lang, talagang matataranta ka na. Pag inobjectionan ka na, madilito ka na. But his experience is qualified. He has documentary evidence, so medyo kalmado siya.
Medyo napabilis na nga yung, yung direct examination. Dahil ba ito dun sa ginawang stipulation prior to the start of the direct examination? Di ba, that was about 30 minutes na nag-agree na sila. Sige, let's stipulate to all these.
Yes,
dahil
nakatulong yun.
Na.
But if you notice, kahit yung mga in-stipulate na nila, tinanong pa rin siya sa mga detalye because he's supposed to explain and then yung mga detalye na hindi mo readily makikita dun sa dokumento.
Alright. And then, Attorney, kanina di ba sabi ng depensa that they will withhold stipulation on at least 900 acknowledgement receipts. Ano pong implikasyon nito? Anong ibig sabihin?
Well, kung hindi sila mag-agree dun sa napakaraming mga resibo, para maipasok yan as evidence, iisa-isahin yan i-identify. So that will take a long time. Pero maganda na rin na they stipulated on many other documents, reports, para sa ganun, at least mababawasan yung time required for the prosecution to present its evidence.
Alright. Can we go back lang, Attorney, dun sa, kasi kanina nabanggit ko that there was only one objection, but I think there was more than one objection pala on the part of the defense. Yung isa kasi, right before recess though, nagkaroon ng objection that was sustained, but before that, prior to that, si Attorney Poa objected because when Attorney Kapunan was showing yung disbursement voucher and she was asking si Attorney Wamil na paki-certify nga kung ano yung signature na yon. Tapos sabi niya, this is a certified expense under my direct supervision. Tapos pumirma doon si Vice President Sara Duterte. And then si Attorney Poa objected kasi sabi niya that calls already for the conclusion of law. Pero si Presiding Officer Cheese Escudero allowed the witness to answer. because he said na he can answer in his capacity.
Oo naman, kasi nga yung assessment ng auditor. So that's his personal capacity. Yung dokumento, mga pirma, wala na masyadong problema kasi nakasulat na yan. So but yung kanyang evaluation dun sa report na yun. So he's totally and completely competent naman to say ganito ang tingin ko niyan. Why is that? Because siya ang nag-audit eh.
So he can now testify on that capacity.
Yes, he's not testifying as to the truth or falsity of ano yung mga nakalagay doon. Yung kanyang assessment na sapat ba ito, tama ba ito, that is within his competence. Yun ang trabaho ng auditor, di ba? Na true or false yung nakalagay doon, based on his titingnan niya, ano ba ang kanyang judgment?
Alright. Kaya dun sa puntong yon, pinagbigyan na ni Presiding
Correct.
Officer
He's
Jesus Cordero.
competent to do that.
Pero what do we expect to hear pa, Attorney Cayosa, kapag balik nila from their lunch break? Kasi nga natapos tayo dun sa enumeration nung mga items that were placed there na hindi allowable, like medicine and travel, payment for incentives and traveling. So ano pa kaya ang aasahan natin? Yung iba pang mga documents pa siguro, no?
Oo, marami pang aspeto. Number one, per report, per liquidation report, per plano, per mga disbursement vouchers, pwede siyang mag-testify doon. Pati na yung genuineness ng mga dokumento o receipts na hindi sila magkaigihan. Walang stipulation. So marami pa.
Marami pa, okay. At dahil hanggang alas 3 pa tayo, attorney dito, which is the scheduled impeachment trial. Although syempre nung nakaraan natapos sila bago pa mag alas 3 ng hapon. Pero mga kapuso, attorney, magpapatuloy pa rin ang ating impeachment coverage. Nagpapatuloy po ang GMA News special coverage, The Vice President on Trial. Day 11 na po ngayon at bukod po dito sa GTV, napapanood din po tayo sa ating YouTube page na youtube.com/@GMA News at sa ating Facebook page na facebook.com/GMA News. At kanina umaga, bago pa man sumalang sa paglilitis, ang unang testigo ng prosekusyon ngayong linggo na si dating COA ICFAO o Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office State Auditor Roderick Wamil, pinag-usapan po ang stipulation ng mga dokumento kaugnay sa Article 1. Hindi po bababa sa 900 common evidence ang hindi pinayagang stipulate ng depensa. Sa testimonya ni Wamil, tinalakay niya ang tungkol sa pag-audit sa intelligence at confidential funds na natanggap na matanggapan ng Vice-Presidente. Kabilang po sa mga lumabas na punto sa direct examination sa kanya ni Attorney Lorna Capunan na sa halos 10 taon niya sa COA ICFAO ay si Vice President Sara Duterte lamang ang Vice President at DepEd Secretary na na-audit niya. Ito ay dahil si Vice President Duterte lamang anya ang Vice Presidente at DepEd Secretary na nagkaroon ng appropriation ng confidential funds. Lumabas din na sinubukang isilbi ng COA ICFAO ang Audit Observation Memo nila o AOM sa Office of the Vice President noong September 2023 pero hindi tinanggap dahil wala raw authorized person na tatanggap nito. Pero sa parehong araw, nakapagsumiti raw ng Revised Accomplishment Report ng OVP at dito nakalagay na kabilang sa mga pinaggastusan ng confidential fund ay ang medical expenses at food aid. At ayon rin kay Wamil, ito ay hindi kasama sa mga pwedeng paglaanan ng confidential funds ng isang ahensya ng gobyerno. Alright, Attorney Cayosa, tayo po ay nagbabalik on GTV at napag-uusapan po natin right before coming back on GTV, ang pinag-uusapan po natin the pieces of evidence that were stipulated, pati yung mga common evidence na hindi na-stipulate, kabilang doon yung 900 acknowledgement receipts. Natatawa po kayo, Attorney, doon sa bilang na yon, doon sa 900. Napakarami po kasi.
Well, kailangan mo napakaraming resibo to justify o kaya i-account yung daang-daang milyong pesos. And ito isang quarter pa lang eh. So aasahan kung wala talaga stipulation, baka mapipilitan yung prosecution to, isa-isahin yan. It will take a lot of time, di ba? 900 ngayon, meron pang 3,600 pa. So we're hoping na, o baka, prosecution also, kung makita nila na pupwede sa mga senator judges na ipakita lang yung trend, hindi na nila lahat yan ilalahad. But baka gusto nilang manigurado, edi isa-isahin nila yan. That is what is looming kung hindi maayos itong stipulation. At dito natin nakikita, Pia, na nagkulang nga sa pre-trial. Diba? Hindi na-manage ng Senado yan. Because in the hands of a seasoned trial court judge, yung pre-trial very important. Kasi pwede sabihin, let's be logical here. Ebidensya nyo. O ngayon, tignan nyo na. Kung pareho lang naman, mag-stipulate na kayo. Mukhang hindi ginawa yan. Hanggang marking of exhibits lang, listing of witnesses. Kaya nga kanya-kanyang karga ng mga ebidensya. So, it's not too late. That should have been done before. But now, the Senate presiding officer, siguro in caucus after caucus, pwede na niyang direct or encourage the parties to stipulate on these things. Of course, he cannot force them. That is part of the right na due process. But he can use his authority, and the Senate tribunal as a whole can tell them, huwag na tayong paligoy-ligoy dito. Kung pareho lang naman, compare nyo, para abbreviate. Otherwise, we have the possibility, seeing a possibility na iisa-isayin talaga yan ng prosecution. So, well, maari din sa optics, gusto nilang gawin yan kasi ipapakita nila yung mga pare-parehong pirma, magkakaibang tao, yung mga katawa-tawang pangalan. So, sometimes they cater to the public already. So, of course, we are entitled to know, but in the interest of efficiency, baka makatulong ang senator judges or the presiding officer to encourage the parties pero pag-stipulate na. Kasi nga, malinaw kung ano yung kanilang mga stipulation.
Teka, attorney, hindi naman ibig sabihin porket hindi nila stipulate yung 900 acknowledgement receipts, kailangan isa-isa dun sa 900 receipts ay pag-uusapan sa impeachment court tapos ikukumpara, iko-contest or iko-compare.
Well, kailangan. Kung hindi mo i-identify yan, one by one, hindi papasok sa ebidensya. Kahit naka-attach yan. Kasi nga, theoretically, bawat isa, for example, kune-question nila. So, nabibigyan din dapat ang defense side counsel to cross-examine on any of those. So, hindi rin pwede na dahil okay na yung iba, therefore the rest, ebidensya na rin. Hindi rin due process yun. And that's why, dun pumapasok nga yung importance sana ng admissions and stipulations.
Last week kasi, attorney, yung naging usapan when the land bank officials testified to say na nagkaroon nga ng withdrawals ng mga cheque. Sinabi nila, unusual yung ganong kalaking withdrawal pero hindi illegal. So parang yun yung sinasabi nila, unusual but not illegal. So ngayon, dito na kailangan pumasok yung usapin. Dito na kailangan ipakita na hindi dapat ginawa yon. Ito yung papakita nila, kailangan pakita ng prosecution na illegal ang paggamit or hindi tama ang paggamit ng confidential funds.
No, dalawa, no? Tama yung hindi dapat ginawa yan kasi hindi yan isa dun sa mga authorized expenditures. Meron pang isa na kahit assuming authorized yan, wala naman talaga yung pinagbigyan eh. Kasi wala naman yung tao. O kaya, maaring meron talaga yung tao. Pero bakit iba-ibang tao iisang pirma? Halimbawa,
yung sinabi ng handwriting expert.
Yung kaso nung AFP naman na kung security or intelligence gathering activity or peace and order activity ng AFP, tama lang naman suportahan ng Vice President na bigyan kung let's say kulang ang kanilang pondo. Pero biglang sabi ng AFP, meron kaming sariling pondo, wala kaming natanggap sa kanila. Yun, talagang ilalabas nila yun. So it's not only yung hindi mo dapat ginawa, pwede rin yung, sige, maaring ginawa mo, pero kulang ka ng proof na naibigay nga sa tamang tao o sa tamang rason yung pera. That is also very important.
Alright. Well, attorney, makibalita muna tayo sa Senado dahil nandun pa rin ang ating kasamang si Joseph Morong. Joseph, anong update dyan tungkol sa meron bang press conference na isasagawa, Joseph?
Yeah. At attorney kayo sa PIA sa kasalukuyan ay nagsasagawa ng press conference itong prosecution sa pangunguna nitong si Attorney J. Tolosa. At tinanungan natin kanina, okay, nakita na natin signatures ni Vice President dun sa disbursement voucher, sa pagkuha ng pera, and even dun sa accomplishment reports na kinorek nila later on sometime in October 2023. According to Attorney J. Tolosa, ay tinatali nito si Vice Presidente Duterte doon sa aksyon ng OVP ng office. No? Kung meron man, sabi ni Attorney Tolosa na makikita na misuse or misappropriation ng 125 million pesos na confidential funds ng OVP ay may kinalaman siya doon. Ibig sabihin, alam niya yung nangyari sa pera na yon. Ngayon, nakita na natin mga acknowledgement receipts galing sa opisina, bubusisiin na yung mga resibo na kakakibat noong mga aktibidad na niliquidate supposedly ng prosecution ng OVP. No? Tanong natin kay Attorney Jay, so kailan lalabas itong si Mary Grace Piatos? Kasi yan yung sinasabi nila dati na mahiwagang tao na binigyan isa dun sa mga allegedly ay non-existent na mga individual na nakatanggap ng pera. Sabi naman itong sa Atty. Tolosa, ay abangan natin yung pag-usad ng testimonya itong dalawa nilang witnesses. Galing dun sa Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office. So si isa dyan, si Atty. Wamil, and then may isa pa. Ang tanong natin, matatapos ba itong si Atty. Wamil today? Baka hindi, no? Baka sa cross pa lang ay maubos na tayo doon or baka matapos tayo sa direct examination ng prosecution and then tomorrow we can go to cross ng defense. So far, yan yung sinasabi ng prosecution na reaksyon nila dito sa so far naganap sa unang bahagi ng testimonya nitong si Atty. Mawil from the Commission on Audit. Siya yung nag-audit mismo ng pondo ng OVP and DepEd during time na umupo si Vice President sa DepEd at saka yung nasa OVP siya ngayon. What is interesting to note is that aside from the testimony, sabi nitong si Atty. Wamil, this is the first time na nag-audit siya ng confidential funds ng OVP and DepEd because prior to the term of Vice President Duterte, walang confidential funds sa yeah.
Alright, Joseph, sama natin si Attorney Cayosa din dito sa pag-uusapan natin dahil sinabi mo nga na yung prosecution clarified na the reason pala kung bakit hindi na pagkasunduan or kung bakit hindi na stipulate or kung bakit ngayon lang natin ginagawa yung ibang stipulation kasi instead of pre-trial because Attorney Tolosa and the defense did not agree prior to this. Tama, Joseph?
Correct.
Oo.
Yan yung utang ko sa iyo kanina, di ba? Kasi
Yes.
parang medyo weird na parang, ba't ngayon yung
bakit
ginagawa?
ngayon
Di ba
lang?
nag-pre-trial kayo?
Oo.
Pre-trial, dapat sa na yan. Attorney Cayosa, ang sabi pala, ay hindi nag-agree yung defense yung time na yun.
So nagkaroon ng change of heart. Well, not change of heart, pero kumbaga, what would it take, Attorney Cayosa, for them to say na, sige ngayon, pwede na. But not all.
One, baka nagre-react din sila dun sa panawagan ng halos lahat na pwede ba simplihan nyo na ito? Pangalawa, pwede rin siguro na nakakakuha siya ng feedback sa central judges na baka pwede naman simplihan nyo na ito. Because yun nga kung ang pre-trial dapat PIA, active yung judge. In this particular case kasi, pinaubaya dun sa Secretary of the Senate. So, kung active sana yung judge dyan, pwede niyang in-encourage sila. Kasi you cannot also be illogical pagdating sa pre-trial. That's part of the process. But kung wala namang namamagitan, walang nag-encourage, nobody is pointing out sa kanila, kailangan mas mabilis tayo dito. Let's be reasonable, mga ganyan. They had initial contact nila yan. So there's mutual, of course, adversarial yan. May duda sa bawat isa. Diba? Or pwede ring feeling ng iba, sige, pahabaan tayo dito. So ngayon na may mga reaction na lumiliwanag na yung mga ebidensya, baka rin nakaka-feel sila ng feedback na baka pwede. So it's good, it's a good development, but what we're saying, it would have been done better during the pre-trial.
Pero, Attorney, kapag ganito, halimbawa naka-break ang ongoing trial, di ba? Ang mismong trial, naka-recess sila. Sino ba pwede ba ang testigo makipag-usap with either the prosecution or defense?
Not the witness, it should be the counsels or the at pwede rin naman mga senator judges.
Okay.
Na ipahiwatig nila informally, baka naman pwede iksian na natin ito. Because kung wala kasing walang ganun, walang encouragement, walang guidance, well, of course, you cannot have compulsion. But, there's a way by which competent and a good judge manager can do that. Kasi yung mga abogado naman, either side, even if it's a professional duty to promote the interests of their client, meron silang ethical duty to go by the truth and what is already established.
Alright. Joseph, pag ganito ba yung testigo, nasa sarili ba siyang holding area? Kasi alam natin, di ba, may holding room ang prosecution, may holding room ang defense. Saan nila nilalagay yung testigo, Joseph?
May sarili yan, yung rector room. Diyan pumapasok. Remember si Attorney Solica Lopez before, when he was supposed to testify, yun yung holding area kahit yung mga bank managers last week. Doon lang sa discussion if you remember, kaya lang, yung sa stipulation, as a matter of context lang, di ba dati hindi pa settled yung presiding officer? So, kaya ang nag-lead
oo nga pala,
was the
no?
Senate
Oo.
Secretary.
Oo.
So, pero in fairness to him naman, nag-marking sila but deferred to later on dun sa Senate Impeachment Court by presiding officer Escudero. But I think they're back. Mga 5 minutes pa to, Pia.
Alright. Pero at least, Joseph, ito, pwede itong gamitin parang in reference, I guess, maybe to the other articles, no? Baka pwedeng pwedeng i-adjust kung sakasakali, kung hilingin ng either prosecution or defense na magkaroon ng stipulation na in another separate session.
Alam mo, hindi ko lang natanong kung ito lang ba yung hindi sila nag-agree na stipulate. Kasi ilang articles to and ilang sets of
Okay.
documents, di ba? So, but we'll have to check kung dito lang sila hindi nagkasundo na ayaw namin munang stipulate yan. Kasi mga confidential funds yung nakalagay dyan, di ba? So, pag in-stipulate namin earlier on yan, tapos na ang laban. Kasi parang in-admit lang namin yan.
Oo nga. Ay,
Remember, dito sa 100, ano ba to? Yung 125 in 11 days, nag-contest yan sila. Hindi sila nag-stipulate. Kasi under question yan, hindi namin tinatanggap yan. And that's the evidence of the prosecution, di ba?
At sabi mo nga, Joseph, ito nga yung isa sa parang, kumbaga, pinakamahaba na articles na tatalakayin dito dahil ito yung more than 30 days yung hiniling nila, no? So, magagamit naman nila. Baka naman ma-offset yung hindi nagamit dun sa Article 4, gamitin nila dito sa Article 1. Pero hindi naman stricto yun, di ba, Joseph? Yung 92 days, yung 92 trial days na hinihingi nila. Hindi naman siguro Pia. Pero sabi naman ito si presiding officer Escudero, parang self-deadline eh. By December, we should be able to finish. So, 92 days pa yan, pero shorter than allotted. Kasi kung susundin natin yung 92 days, at tumawid tayo ng 2027 eh, naka-impeachment vote pa rin tayo. But conscious naman, both parties, the panel, the defense and the prosecution na if they can abbreviate naman the proceedings, not to the sacrifice naman of evidence, di ba? Alright. Well, Joseph, ito, nagre-resume na ang sesyon. Pakinggan
Examination
natin.
of the witness, Mr.
Okay.
Wamil, by the counsel for the panel of prosecutors, Attorney Lorna Kapunan. Ma'am, you may proceed and continue if you are ready. When you are ready, rather.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Witness, kumain ka na ba?
Yes, ma'am. Kumain naman po.
Kumain ka naman, ano? Kasi tatanong ko sa'yo. Kanina sinabi mo, Mr. Witness, na nag-submit ng revised accomplishment report ang Office of the Vice President at sinabi mo na marami pa ring discrepancies at kulang-kulang ang mga dokumento. What did you do? Anong ginawa mo, if any? Pagkatanggap mo nitong revised accomplishment report.
Nung natanggap ko po yung revised accomplishment report, I gave due consideration po doon sa kanilang supplemental submission. And then, nag-issue po kami ng supplemental AOM in consideration of their additional submission.
Okay. Why was it necessary to issue another AOM? Bakit kailangan nag-issue ka pa ng isa pang audit observation memorandum?
Since hindi naman po na-issue yung aming first AOM dahil hindi nga po nila na-receive, so wala po kaming, under our rules po, AOM po talaga yung aming i-issue if we note findings doon sa kanilang submission sa ICFAO.
Flashed on the screen, Your Honors, Mr. Presiding Officer, with your permission, is this AOM referred to by this witness. Mr. Witness, can you walk us, pakisabi sa atin lahat dito, ano ang mga na-observe mo dito sa AOM na sinubmit?
Witness may refer to the document and may be assisted by assisting counsels for both parties.
Based on the evaluation po ng documents, Doon sa kanilang, katulad nga po nung sinabi ko kanina, katulad nung nasa first hearing po namin, since wala pa rin silang isinamit na documentary evidence of payments. So nireiterate po namin dito sa aming second AOM yung kanilang non-submission of the documentary evidence of payments. Tapos katulad din po nung sinabi ko kanina, since doon sa kanilang revised accomplishment report ay merong items for the provision of medical and food aid for 40 million pesos at payment of incentives or traveling expenses relative to the confidential operations of the OBP na 10 million pesos na hindi allowable expenses based on the item 4.8 of the Joint Circular 2015-01. And also, doon sa kanilang revised accomplishment report, meron po silang item for the payment of rewards pero wala silang isinamit na any document evidencing the success of the information gathering or surveillance activities pursuant to the information given by the informer. And also, nakasama din po sa aming findings yung kanilang hindi sinabmit na special budget request at hindi rin po nila isinabmit yung proof of submission nila nung kanilang revised accomplishment report to the Office of the President, the Senate President, and the Speaker of the House. And lastly po, dun sa disbursement voucher kasi, ang nag-approve po nun ay si Assistant Secretary Limuel G. Ortonio, which is not compliant with the joint circular dahil according to the joint circular, it shall be the responsibility of the head of the agency to approve the cash advances.
Okay. So na-mention mo dito yung 40 million na ginastos ng Office of the Vice President para sa gamot, medicines.
Yes, ma'am.
Walang supporting document. Mr. Witness?
As of this time po, wala po silang binigay na supporting document.
Ito ring 10 million na ginamit bilang liquidation sa travel expenses ng Office of the Vice President para sa confidential fund. Ano-anong mga dokumento ang sinabmit para dito?
Pwede pong paulit po ng tanong, ma'am.
10 million ang sinabi mong travel funds na ginamit ng Office of the Vice President galing sa kanyang confidential funds. Meron bang sinabmit na dokumento ang Vice President para i-liquidate itong 10 million na travel funds niya?
Wala po silang sinabmit na document supporting that disbursement po.
Itong mga payment of rewards, magkanong payment of rewards?
Ang kanilang payment of rewards po ay 10 million pesos based on the submitted revised accomplishment report.
Okay. Itong 10 million na ginastos o binayad ng Office of the Vice President sa mga nagbigay ng information ba to?
Payment of rewards for the...
Rewards.
Yes, ma'am.
Meron bang mga dokumentong sinabmit ang Presidente, Vice Office of the Vice President, para i-liquidate itong paggamit ng confidential funds niya sa rewards?
Wala pong silang sinabmit na document po in support of the payment of rewards as of this time.
Ngayon,
As of the date nung AOM po.
after issuing, sabi mo may audit observation memorandum na previously marked for reference as Exhibit P-1-12-B na common exhibit with the respondent. Pagkatapos na issue itong AOM, anong nangyari afterwards, if any?
After po namin after ma-serve ng ICFO yung both AOMs po, nagbigay si Office of the Vice President ng kanilang response.
And if I show you a copy of this response of the Office of the Vice President, will you be able to identify the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, please again, this is a stipulated document. This is
Assistant counsel of both parties may approach the witness to guide him as to the document being identified.
This is Exhibit P-1-12-C for the petitioner. prosecution. Ito bang response ng Office of the Vice President? Evaluate mo din?
Yes, ma'am.
At anong findings mo, if any?
Actually po, before ko na-evaluate itong response na ito, nag-submit pa sila ng additional response sa amin. At sabay po namin in-evaluate yung kanilang both responses.
So, dalawang response.
Yes, ma'am.
At ano ang findings mo sa dalawang response na to?
Sa response po kasi nila, they attached the documentary evidence of payments. So nagkaroon po kami ng finding about the various payment of rewards made based on the submitted documentary evidence of payments na naka-attach dun sa response nila in the form of acknowledgement receipts. So based on the acknowledgement receipts na sinamit po, nagkaroon sila ng payment of rewards in cash, in medicine, and in various goods. At lahat po nung kanilang payment of rewards ay walang naka-attach na any document supporting the success of the information gathering activity or surveillance activity on account of the information given by the informer. And also po, nagkaroon din sila ng various purchases based on the documentary evidence of payments. Meron po silang yung kanilang binili na medicines and various goods which were given as rewards. Yung kanilang binili na supplies. Yung binili nila na tables and chairs and desktop printers and computers. Pero yung supporting document lang po nun ay acknowledgement receipt instead of official receipts or sales invoices. And also, with respect to the payment po ng tables and chairs and desktop printers and computers, hindi po nila in-indicate if those purchases were really intended for the confidential operations of the OVP.
Sa joint circular na sinabi mong guidelines para sa liquidation report ng Office of the Vice President, bakit sinasabi mo na walang supporting documents itong tables and chairs na binili, itong desktop, itong medicines, itong supplies? Ano ang kailangan mo na supporting document?
Actually, since it was ang involved po ay purchases, then those purchases should have been supported with sales invoices and official receipts instead of the acknowledgement receipts lang po.
In other words, Mr. Witness, itong acknowledgement receipt, walang kasamang mga resibo.
Yes, ma'am. Wala po silang inattached na resibo.
Hindi ba confidential yan kung saan drugstore ka bumili ng medicine?
Hindi naman po siguro confidential pag kung ang pagbibilhan mo ay mga drugstore. Kasi ang confidential po mismo ay yung paggagamitan, hindi yung pagbibilhan. Magkaibang bagay po kasi yun.
Yung mga grocery na binilhan ng mga sari-saring groceries at supplies, hindi ba confidential dapat ang mga pangalan ng grocery na yan?
Hindi naman po kailangan maging confidential yung pangalan ng mga groceries. Katulad nga po ng sinabi ko, ang confidential ay yung paggagamitan, hindi yung pagbibilhan. At magkaibang bagay po kasi yun.
Yung hardware stores na pinagbilhan ng mga tables and chairs tsaka desktop, hindi ba confidential yung mga pangalan ng mga hardware stores na yan?
Hindi rin po necessarily na confidential yung pangalan ng hardwares dahil yun nga po, hindi naman confidential yung pinagbilan, kundi yung paggagamitan ng kanilang pondo.
Your Honor.
At this juncture, Your Honor, may we
With the permission of
manifest?
counsel for the panel of prosecutors. Yes, what is the pleasure of
Your
the
Honor,
counsel
may
for
we
responding?
move to strike out the responses of the witness to those questions as he's not competent and qualified to answer, especially since he is not pointing to any provision of the JC as to his opinion on whether confidential o hindi ang mga pangalan ng mga drugstores, ang mga pangalan ng mga sari-sari stores, Your Honors. I think that is beyond his competence, Your Honor. as an auditor.
If I may respond.
Unless, Your Honor, he can point to a specific provision in the joint circular.
Your Honor,
Counsel
please.
for the panel for prosecutors, Attorney Kapunan may respond before the
Your
chair
Honor,
makes a ruling.
please, Your Honor. First of all, they're asked and answered. Counsel should have timely objected when being asked. 3 times he was asked. Secondly, Your Honor, I don't think it is accurate to say that this has no basis because earlier, pinaghirapan po namin pakita yung mga particular provisions ng Joint Circular 2015 para i-point out ano-ano ang mga pwedeng gamitan ng confidential funds at ano-ano ang pwedeng paggamit or bawal na paggamit ng confidential funds. And this witness, Your Honor, based on the circular, did say that whatever activity that is must be related to the physical and financial plans submitted by the Office of the Vice President and or the DepEd. For instance, tables and chairs, what particular surveillance activity or operation or terrorist surveillance are tables and chairs and desktops and medicines and supplies related to? The payment of rewards, Your Honor. Again, this witness cited the particular provision of the joint circular that says the payment of reward should not stop there. It should point, Your Honor, according to the joint circular, it should point to particular documents that would show or point to that activity by which the rewards were deserved, Your Honor. So
Chair
it's
will make
very
a
clear
ruling.
in the circular, Your Honor.
Chair will make a ruling. Asked and answered as correctly pointed out by counsel for the panel of prosecutors. Aside from that, the witness is competent to testify as to how he evaluated the submissions and the response letters given by the Office of the Vice President in relation to the AOMC issued that were all based on JMC number 15-01.
Your Honor,
yes,
I will
counsel
not
for...
be asking for reconsideration and I will submit to the ruling of the court. I just want to make it of record that when we say asked and answered, Your Honors, I gave leeway to the opposing counsel to ask the question basically because I did not think the question was objectionable. But it is the answer that I'm asking to be stricken out based on the competence of the witness because there is no provision under the JC that says ano yung sari-sari store ay hindi confidential. But again, Your Honor, I just wanted to put that on the record, but I will abide by the ruling of the Honorable Presiding
Duly
Officer,
noted,
Your Honor.
counsel for the respondent, and you may note a continuing objection should the counsel for the panel of prosecutors continue with this
Thank you,
line
Your
of
Honor.
questioning. Attorney
Thank you,
Kapunan,
Your
you may
Honor.
proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this juncture, Your Honor, may we manifest for the record that in accordance with our request for stipulation, we had presented for stipulation to counsel for the respondent 845 acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor, that would show recipients of the various amounts mentioned in relation to disbursement of confidential funds, their names, what they were spent for, and the dates of receipts, Your Honor. Sadly, counsel for the respondent has refused, despite this being common exhibits for the prosecution and defense, Your Honor, counsel has refused to stipulate. May I repeat that now? We are not stipulating as to the contents, which will be properly identified in part, because we will not present all 845, Your Honor, documents. But may we know from counsel if
What
he
does
will
counsel for respondent say?
attest to its existence and that these were documents they themselves, Your Honor, submitted to the COA ICFAO by way of their liquidation. These are their very own documents by way of liquidation to the confidential funds, which were allotted and spent by the Office of the Vice President and the DepEd. But for the meantime, for the Office of the Vice President, Your Honor, these
Attorney po?
very same documents are what they submitted to the COA ICFAO, Your Honor.
Attorney Po?
Your Honor, I beg the indulgence of the Honorable Court as well as the distinguished opposing counsel, but we really cannot stipulate on these matters precisely because the insinuation that this was the very documents that the OVP and DepEd submitted to COA is very much in question, Your Honors, because we can easily raise the issue on chain of custody. I'm not saying we will, but that is always on the table. And precisely, Your Honors, although they are labeled as common exhibits, we marked them separately, Your Honor. We did not have markings on the same documents, Your Honor. And that is our position. But again, I beg the indulgence and the patience, Your Honor, of the distinguished opposing counsel and the Honorable Court.
Can I just,
Counsel-
my last manifestation, Your Honor, anent this acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor. You will note from the acknowledgement receipts that these are certified true copies. Certified true copies of receipts submitted to the COA ICFAO, Your Honor. They're not documents from the prosecution. They are documents which this witness, by way of subpoena, duces tecum, and testificandum, produced before this court, Your Honor. So the provenance, the source of these documents, and there is a certification issued by his office, show that there should be no doubt as to where these documents came from. As to their existence, Your Honor, there should be no doubt.
May the presiding officer ask, are we talking about the same number of documents to begin with? 847, correct, Counsel?
845, Your Honor.
45? Counsel for the respondent?
I'm confirming now, Your Honor.
Are the common exhibits for both prosecution and respondent 845 documents?
Your Honor, the problem here is during the marking, there were inconsistencies with the number of ARs that were presented between each party, Your Honor. And that is why we cannot stipulate on the same. Now, as to the question on whether we have the same number for the fourth quarter, we are still verifying, Your Honor, but I'm afraid I will waste the court's time now if we verify further.
Anyway, Counsel, Attorney Kapunan, unfortunately, if they are not willing to stipulate, the court cannot twist their hand into so stipulating for whatever reason they may have. So kindly proceed as you intended to.
We submit, Mr. Presiding Officer, Mr. Witness. Nung nag-evaluate ka ng post-audit evaluation ng documents, liquidation documents submitted to you, your office by the Office of the Vice President, was there evidence or documents submitted to your office to show how payments were made?
Ang tanging sinamit lang po nila in support of their payments po ay yung documentary evidence payments in the form of acknowledgement receipts.
Okay. And will you please tell this court, this impeachment court, if you, in the course of your post-audit, carefully evaluated acknowledgement receipts?
Ang ginawa ko po, upon receipt of those acknowledgement receipts, tinabulate ko po lahat ng acknowledgement receipts na yon based on their purpose, based on their, kung kailan po yung dates of payment, and then based on the amount po na binayaran nila as provided po doon sa acknowledgement receipts.
You mentioned, Mr. Witness, that you prepared your own tabulation?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you bring them with you, this tabulation?
I brought it po with me.
Can you share them with us?
Your Honor, may I be allowed po to share the tabulation?
Witness may may refer to his notes with respect to the tabulation, yes.
Your Honor, please, I think defense counsel will note that this is not a pre-marked document during the pre-trial, but we had made a reservation that we will be marking documents in the course of our of this witness testimony.
Assisting counsel for the parties may approach the witness and view the document being referred to by the witness.